Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. APC leadership visits Port Harcourt, whose Governor Amechi and his supporters to join party. House of Representatives summons the Inspector General of Police over alleged disruption of G7 governors meeting in Abuja. Presidential committee set up to dialogue with suspected Boko Haram members submits report to the president. And the M23 rebel group in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo surrenders to government forces. Well, all our top stories and other programs can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. To get us on the move, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows Phone from their respective stores. Now you can now interact with Channels Eyewitness feature on your Android and Windows 8 platforms. If you have a picture or video to share with us, all you need to do is download the Channels TV Android application on your device. Swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share your report, pictures and videos. Well, a couple of other stories before we go to our Abuja studios. The presidential committee set up by President Goodluck Jonathan to dialogue with the Boko Haram dreaded sect has submitted its report to the president, saying that the leadership of the insurgent group refused to have any dialogue with them despite all their efforts. The chairman of the committee, Kabiru Turaki, said that includes some of the difficulties they had while carrying out the assignment. He said, however, many of the key members of the insurgents, both in detention and at large, have positively responded to contacts and have accepted the dialogue option as capable of full resolution of the conflict. It was in this vein that the committee recommended that the president should set up an advisory committee on continuous dialogue to continue from where they stopped. Receiving the report, President Jonathan said that government will look into all the recommendations, promising to set up a committee to follow up on the dialogue. The president, however, told them that government will rather provide assistance to the victims of the attacks than compensations. And the call by some individuals that Nigeria should split along religious and ethnic lines during the proposed national conference has been described as wishful thinking. This is the view of former military head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, who also expressed support for the conference. He was speaking in Kaduna at the opening ceremony of the International Conference, a forum for cities in transition held at the Murtala Mohammed Square.
The Murtala Mohammed Square in Kaduna plays host to this large gathering drawn from across the state and other northern parts of the country. Prominent among those present are former head of state General Abdulsalami Abubakar and the Emir of Zaria, Shehu Idris. The issue on the table here is how to ensure peaceful coexistence not only in Kaduna state but in Nigeria.
In our bid to reunite the people of Kaduna state, this administration has already provided platforms for the diverse people to regularly engage in dialogue. We have initiated peace and security forums where people from diverse backgrounds met and ventilate all shades of opinion on matters affecting the state. At the end, their resolutions were collated and documented for government use.
The guest speaker, retired General Abdulsalami Abubakar, described the opinion of some Nigerians that have called for the disintegration of the country as wishful thinking. He said that the diversity of the nation ought to have been its strength, but lamented that this unique blessing had become a source of disunity.
This conference should be seen as a clarion call on all to rise up and shoulder the task of restoring the much enjoyed peace and dignity of Kaduna and the country in general.
To ensure that peace building is achieved, the director of Forum of Cities in Transition, based in Boston, USA, Professor Padraig O'Malley, explained that there is a need to create dynamics that serve as catalysts for change.
This is the first time for many of our delegates to be in Africa. It is a new experience for them. What they will learn here will shape how they see things, and they will learn how to manage conflict in different ways than they have in their own cities, in other places in the world.
It is expected that at the end of the conference, Kaduna and other participating cities will learn what it takes to contribute to healing the divisions amongst the various religions that has enmeshed the state and the nation in conflict for years.
Well, from Lagos now to our Abuja studios, where Linda Kigbe is standing by. Linda, hello.
Thanks, Suleiman. And now to news from Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Nigerian university students who have been away from schools for months now can be cautiously optimistic of returning to the classroom soon, going by fillers coming from the federal government. Rising from a marathon meeting between the president and the leadership of ASU, the Minister of Labour, Emeka Nwogu, who spoke to State House correspondents on behalf of the federal government, said that considerable progress has been made and that Nigerians should expect a positive reaction from the striking lecturers. The union's president, Dr. Nasir Fage, on his part, would not let the cat out of the bag, choosing instead to intimate his members nationwide of what transpired with the president before making a categorical public statement.
After several deadlocked meetings between ASU and various representatives of government and some of government's offers rejected by the union, the legislature joined in the quest to bring the 4-month-old strike to an end.
And if there is any need for further appropriation to be made or for any law to be amended, for any of these conditions to be met, the House of Representatives is very willing and ready to expeditiously attend to such requests. Please, we need our students back to their respective schools.
National interest is at stake. Our students have been out of classrooms for about 4 months now, roughly. And that is not in the best interest of anybody. We are not happy about it. We are not happy. The parents are not happy. The government is not happy. So if something is going on and nobody is happy about it, then it's only proper that we have it resolved as quickly as possible.
The president stepping in personally may have raised lots of hope, but when the meeting between President Goodluck Jonathan and ASU started Monday afternoon, not many would have thought that the session would last 13 hours. Apparently buoyed by the need to settle the matter once and for all, both parties tabled their stands at a meeting behind closed doors. For the outcome of that meeting, however, Nigerians may still have to wait a little more.
We now have a message from Mr. President that we are going to take to our members. And we are expecting that our members will respond appropriately to the message of Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Not going back to the classroom yet.
What is the message?
What did you say?
Not going back to the classroom yet.
That is up to our members.
So what is the message you are taking away?
No, I can't tell you. It's not for you. It's for our members.
The message is full of high expectations. So our prayer is that they come back and come back with positive outcome. They might not even come back to meet us. They might even take decisions there that will meet your expectations. The offer we've made are the offers they are taking in line with the 2009 agreement. The issues that led to the strike are issues contained in the 2009 agreement, and we did not go beyond the agreement.
Hopefully, this wait may not be as long as the strike has lasted, and only then would Nigerians know the compromises that have been made by both parties.
Nigerian democracy has been described as the most expensive in the world in view of the overhead cost of governance. This is the view of the former governorship candidate of the Movement for Restoration of Democracy and Development, retired Colonel Suleiman Babanawa. Colonel Babanawa was speaking at the commemoration of the 10th year anniversary of the Kogi State chapter of the Conference of Nigeria Political Parties in Lokoja, the state capital.
Party executives and members of the Conference of Nigeria Political Parties, CNPP, from the 21 local government areas of Kogi State are joined in celebration by the People's Democratic Party executives, commissioners and special advisors of Kogi State, as well as the traditional leader of Lokoja. The chairman of the CNPP, Abubakar Aliyu, believes the party has done well in the past 10 years and has also contributed to the peace process in the state.
In the last 10 years, the CNPP has fared well in its role as an umbrella body for political parties, who have most importantly provided the much needed peace in the state for that touted fledgling democratic dividends, and at critical moments subject the government's policies to dispassionate and unbiased analysis.
Time to listen to the guest speaker, retired Colonel Suleiman Babanawa, who has Nigeria's issues bordering on the state of the country's democracy in mind. Colonel Babanawa believes that in spite of the problems being experienced in the polity, democracy remains the best form of government. He says that the legislative arms of government should be made less attractive and administered on part-time basis in order to cut the cost of running the government.
Nigeria democracy is one of the most expensive in the world. And that's why I have always cried that we don't need to have, senators that live on taxpayers, members of House of Representatives, members of the various houses of assembly, and even the government itself, very, very expensive. We better sit down again and fashion out a democratic system that could be less expensive. And the governors, of course, scaling down, their allowances for overseas trips, especially on medical, that they could also bring such facilities in this country for the common man to enjoy.
As some here go home with awards given by the CNPP, they will be leaving with reminder of the need for all and sundry to ensure that Nigeria's democracy is nurtured and sustained.
Anambra State Governor Mr. Peter Obi has presented a check of 5 billion naira to the newly renamed State University, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, for infrastructure development at the permanent site of the institution. The presentation was made at a ceremony marking the posthumous 80th birthday anniversary of a late Igbo leader, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. The governor says the intervention is in collaboration with the federal government to support continued infrastructural development of the institution.
It was an event that was witnessed by a large crowd of people. A day of fulfillment for the family of the late Dim Chukwuemeka Ojukwu, as the Anambra State government decided to honor the former Biafran warlord by renaming the State University to the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University. This, the state government believes, is in recognition of the Igbo leader's contribution to the development of his people, especially in education. Governor Peter Obi, after presenting the check of 5 billion naira to the university, announced a 15% increase in the state government subvention to the school and other benefits. He also presented vehicles to the school management. The Ojukwu family thanked the state government for the noble gesture bestowed upon the elder statesman. The students in whose interest the university was renamed have something to say for themselves.
I feel great for the changing of Anambra State University to Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University. We are great, and we thank the governor for giving us the school bug, both the Uli campus and Ibadan campus. That's what we've been longing for since.
With the name, we can go higher because because the man himself is a hero.
With the renaming of the state university now done, the people and indeed the students are hoping it will go a long way in changing the fortunes of the school in becoming one of the real centers of academic excellence.
Leading by example, that's what the governor of Bayelsa State, Seriake Dixon, and his deputy, John Jonah, chose to do as they take part in the first biometric data capturing in the state. The exercise, which involves personal information, thumbprinting and capturing of image, takes a few minutes, and a certificate is received at the end of the exercise. Governor Dixon insists that the exercise was introduced in order to eliminate ghost workers as well as reduce the wage bill of the civil service. He warned that all political appointees and civil servants must take part in the exercise because non-compliance will lead to forfeiture of salaries and allowances from January 2014. And that's all from the FCT. Back to you, Suleiman.
Well, many thanks, Linda. When the News at 10 returns, the federal government says it saved 820 billion naira from crude oil importation. That's on Business News. Do join us again.